Hello and welcome back to ERU, where we round up the biggest results and talking points from across European football. Happy Monday, everyone. I've got Michael McCubbin for your viewing pleasure. McCubbs, how are you on this Monday morning? Enjoyed the Man United win yesterday?
I did enjoy the Man United win yesterday. Yeah, it was great, wasn't it? It was proper vintage Premier League football, circa the 90s. Go and check that out on Winners and Losers. I assume they'll be talking about that. There was some sad news yesterday. Don't know if everyone's heard, but Jamal Edwards passed away yesterday. Really, really sad. Very influential figure in the kind of UK music scene and YouTube scene as well. Like a real pioneer of kind of music on YouTube. Big Chelsea fan as well. Thoughts go out to all his family. But yeah, Dukes. Otherwise, had a nice weekend. How about you?
Good. Yeah. Great words about Jamal Edwards as it goes. Yeah, R.I.P. to seemingly a bit of a legend of the music and YouTube scene. I actually didn't know that much about him, but yeah, the outpouring of emotion after his passing shows just what a difference he made to so many people's lives. But yeah, my weekend was nice, thank you. I had a poker night on Friday, and then Saturday and Sunday was spent, consuming as much football as humanly possible. So no, it was a great weekend. But let's kick off with our story of the week, though, because there's talk about Arsenal weighing up a potential bargain move for a Granit Xhaka replacement. What's going on with this one, McCubbs?
Yeah, I mean, Xhaka leaving Arsenal is something that we kind of thought was going to happen last summer, wasn't it? Before his move to Roma fell through, and then he signed that one-year contract extension. And this year, the Gunners are highly expected to go in for a striker. That seems like the priority. But that midfield is still very thin, isn't it? I think that's one of the reasons why they wanted to keep Xhaka on for an extra year, just in case. El Neni is expected to leave once his contract expires. Torreira is also likely to leave the club permanently. Roma is still interested in Xhaka. I think Mourinho is still quite focused on bringing him in the summer. They're going to need reinforcements. And according to the Mirror, they've been alerted to the potential availability of Spain and Napoli star Fabian Ruiz, after the 25-year-old rejected the chance to extend his deal in Naples beyond 2023. So he could be available at a bit of a cut price this summer. We also profiled him as a potential signing for Real Madrid on Continental Club. So go and check that out after this. We kind of do a mild rebuilding of the Real Madrid team around Kylian Mbappe. The report claims that Arsenal's representatives have already been in touch with his entourage, and a fee of 19 million euros could be expected to be enough to land him. If that's the case, we already have the bargain of the summer on our hands. So 19 million euros for Fabian Ruiz, one of the best midfielders in Europe, that's unreal. We'll see how that goes. I can't quite believe it, but Arteta is supposedly a big fan of the Spaniard. No surprises there. Is expected to face competition from Real Madrid and Barcelona, the two clubs who have probably been most prominently linked with him, even since his Betis days. Dukes, run us down a bit about Ruiz. Why would he be such a good signing for Arsenal?
Yeah, well, if you've been a fan of Football Daily and Euro Football Daily for a little while, you'd have heard about us talking about Fabian Ruiz, because we've been a fan really since his breakthrough at Real Betis in the 2017-18 season. He then moved to Napoli for around 30 million euros in July 2018, and he's been a regular ever since. He's made over 40 appearances in each of his 3 completed seasons at the club. And this year, he's been absolutely excellent once again alongside Anguissa, when Anguissa's been available at the base of midfield. Zielinski's generally played a little bit further in front of them as well, but he's got 5 goals and 3 assists in 20 league games. And in terms of what he's good at, I mean, similar to Xhaka, his main skills are sort of in possession. He's very good at retaining the ball, 78 passes per game this year, with an 89% pass completion rate. But he's reasonably progressive with it too. He's not just a sideways pass merchant. 5.6 progressive passes, that's passes that go over 10 yards towards the opponent's goal per 90. Xhaka is the only current Arsenal player to top that with 6.1. And also 6.9 progressive carries, which are carries that go over 10 yards towards the opponent's goal. Odegaard is currently Arsenal's top player by that metric, or top midfielder, by that metric, with 6.3. So he'd certainly add a lot of dynamism to a midfield that sometimes looks a little bit pedestrian at times. His defensive output isn't massive, just 2.6 tackles and interceptions per 90, but he's playing for a side that sees over 60% of the ball in Serie A, which is the most in that division and the 10th in Europe as well. So it feels like if Arsenal finish in the top 4, because it would be difficult to see him choosing Arsenal over Barcelona or Real Madrid, who now look favourites to finish in the top 4 in La Liga, with Atletico Madrid's form still pretty up and down. If Arsenal don't finish in the top 4, this is probably unlikely to happen. But Arsenal are currently 6th. They're just 4 points off 4th place United with 3 games in hand. And because it's not outside of the realms of possibility that Arsenal managed to secure that 4th place ahead of United, or West Ham, or Wolves, or any of those other teams.
Yeah, no, absolutely not. I mean, we saw on the weekend another good win for them. Emil Smith-Rowe and Bukayo Saka, two great goals. So yeah, I think that it's certainly a possibility. I think the stumbling block for me would be, does Fabian Ruiz actually want to move to Arsenal regardless? Because with Spanish players, I feel like a lot of the time the priority is to go back to a Real Madrid or Barca. So that really is the pinnacle for many players, but especially Spanish players, and also things like weather and whatnot. Do you want to go from Napoli, which is, right at the heart of the Mediterranean, to kind of rainy London as well. So I feel like those are the factors that might define whether Arsenal can or can't get him. But, like Arteta is clearly quite a persuasive man. If he's a big fan of him, then it could potentially happen. But I think, I would much rather bet on him going to Barcelona or Real Madrid at this stage.
Oh, there we have it, Arsenal fans. We're a big fan of this signing if you can get it done, but we're a little bit sceptical about whether you'll be able to. What do you guys think about this potential signing? Let us know in the comments down below, and let's move on to our result of the week.
Our result of the week comes in from @xturtletoe on Twitter, Dukes. There were quite a few to choose from. Slightly strange handle, that. Dukes, what happened in Dortmund?
Yeah, well, before we get on to that, as you say, there were quite a lot of options. We could have gone with RB Leipzig, who thrashed Hertha Berlin 6-1. Clermont Foot, who beat Marseille 2-0 away from home. What a phenomenal result for that. And Sassuolo, who beat Inter Milan 2-0, continuing Inter's slightly dodgy patch of form in Serie A. But we wanted to talk about the Dortmund result because their bizarre season continued as they bounced back from that humiliating 4-2 defeat at the hands of Rangers to thrash Gladbach 6-0. This was their 20th game this season to involve at least 4 goals. Yeah, I couldn't believe that until I did the research for that. But that's out of 34 games in all competitions, 20 have involved at least 4 goals. Absolutely nuts. But it was a truly dominant display in this game. They had 16 shots to Gladbach's 8, with 10 on target to their 5. They racked up 3.6 XG to De Vollen's 0.8. That's the most XG they've created in a single league game so far this season. But it was interesting to see that this performance came after Marco Reus finally tried to do something a little bit different formation-wise. He switched to a 3-4-3 formation, and that was just the second time he's used that in the league this season, with the other time, interestingly, coming in their 1-0 defeat to Gladbach in September. Gladbach also matched up in a 3-4-3. But Dortmund just won far more 50-50s. They were just, much more energised, seemingly. And it was just far too easy to cut through the Gladbach defence as it has been throughout this season. Dortmund are now 8 points clear of third place Leverkusen. But Bayern's 4-1 win over Greuther Fürth ensures they remain 6 points behind the champions, who are, of course, going for that 10th consecutive title. But the most pleasing element of Dortmund's season so far has definitely been their attack. Only Bayern with 74 and Liverpool with 64 have scored more than their 63 goals in Europe's top 5 leagues. Really, really impressive stuff. That's level with Man City, which is even more impressive given that Erling Haaland has only been fit to start 13 league games. So credit to Marco Reus for getting this game spot on and for getting that attack going. But yeah, it's been a topsy-turvy season for them, at least defensively as well. Their defence, I don't think, is anywhere close to being in the top 4, even in Germany. But Macubs for Gladbach, more misery.
Yeah, I mean, Adi Hütter has survived until now, but it's getting more and more difficult to see how he ends the season. It's just been really bad for them, hasn't it? And I feel like they're a little bit more clear of relegation trouble at the moment than they were, say, a few weeks ago, but they could quite easily get pulled back into that battle. And yeah, obviously they beat Bayern twice this season, obviously including that 5-0 win in the Cup. Dortmund and Wolfsburg as well, they've beaten, like you were saying, in relation to that last meeting between the pair. But otherwise, they've just been really, really bad. 2 wins in their last 11 league games. They conceded at least 4 in 4 of those games. Only Hertha and Greuther Fürth have conceded more than their 46 league goals. They've only kept 2 clean sheets in 23 league games, so not great stuff from Jan Sommer's perspective. And their defending in this game was really, really poor. Jan Sommer as well had a rare off day. Let through Marlon's tame shot underneath him was that the second, I think, and Marius Wolf's shot beats him at the near post. Probably should have stayed on his feet. It was a really good finish, to be fair, but I think if Jan Sommer stays on his feet a little longer, he probably saves it. Having said that, though, definitely not to blame for Mönchengladbach's poor form. Only 3 Bully keepers actually prevented more than his 3.5 post-shot XG this season, so in that sense, yeah, you can't lay the blame at his door. Very much the defence that were at fault today, and just the overall structure, I think, like you were saying, Dukes, Dortmund just cut through them so easily. They've seemingly lost a lot of their kind of forward thrust as well. According to Who Scored, they haven't scored a single counter-attacking goal this season. Augsburg are the only Bundesliga team to also have failed to do that. And obviously that forward line has just failed to produce as well. I think, was it Thuram player and Brill and Bolo have only scored 6 goals between them this term. They've really relied on Jonas Hoffmann, who hit the woodwork in this game for goals. So, at both ends of the pitch, Mönchengladbach are well under par. And ultimately, I think they're paying for not rejuvenating that squad in the summer. Only spent 32 million euros across the last 2 seasons. Obviously lost Dennis Zakaria this month as well. Did well to get a fee in the end, because otherwise obviously he would have left for free in the summer. But as for key performers in this game, Mahmoud Dahoud was excellent alongside Jude Bellingham. 8 tackles, 1 interception, 3 dribbles, 2 key passes and a shot. Man of the match there has to be Marco Reus. He is on absolute fire at the moment. Completed 88% of his passes, completed 2 dribbles, 5 key passes, 2 shots, 2 goals and 3 assists against his former club to back up that brace that he got against Union Berlin last week. Great stuff for him, although shout out and all the best with the recovery for Gio Reyna, who went off in tears on 28 minutes. First start in however long, months and months and months and months and months. Really sad to see him go off injured, so hopefully that isn't too serious. Dortmund head to Ibrox for the second leg of that mouth-watering Europa League tie on Thursday. Obviously 4-2 down, is it? Can they turn it around? What do you reckon, Dukes? I feel like they can.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't rule it out at all, but I mean, I'm loath to predict anything involving Dortmund so far this year. You just simply do not know what you're going to get from week to week. And, credit to them for opening up to that gap to third, but it's actually a bit of a miracle that they're only 6 points behind Bayern at this stage of the season. I think Bayern's slightly shaky defence has let them down at points. But in terms of that game, they could easily, score 3 past Rangers, but they could also concede a further 2 and be out of the tie. So I just have no idea.
Fair enough. Yeah, definitely going to be watching that on Thursday. But what did you guys make of Dortmund's performance? And do you think they can turn it around against Rangers on Thursday? Let us know in the comments below. Let's move on to our star of the week.
Okay, it's time for Star of the Week, and yes, lots of Barcelona fans got in touch. We've got a big following of them on Twitter, and they wanted us to talk about Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, who came in, and this one I picked out from Dish1TZZ. Came in clutch this weekend, the Cubs.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we could have had like usual, a few other candidates. Arnaud Danjuma got a hat-trick in Villarreal's 4-1 win over Granada, which moved Emery's men to within 4 points of 4th. Really good performance from them. But 2 of those were penalties, albeit his first 2 penalties in professional football. So very impressive in that sense. I also wanted to shout out Alban Lafont, who kept out PSG in Nantes' 3-1 victory the other night. He was superb. I think he made something like 8 saves, saved Neymar's penalty, albeit a very bad penalty, but nevertheless, Great performance, great performance from him. Some real worldy saves in there as well. But yeah, Aubameyang, great to see him kind of firing and really enjoying his football, it seems, like he looked really happy out there in this game. Got a hat-trick of his own in their 4-1 win over Valencia. He wasn't that involved in build-up, as we're kind of used to seeing with Aubameyang at this point. Only completed 13 passes, kind of standard for him, but he was super clinical. 4 shots, all 4 on target. Obviously got 3 goals, 1 coming off his back, off a Pedri strike, so a little bit fortunate in that sense, but he was really, really sharp in that first half. And yeah, he's now just 1 short of his Premier League tally for this season in just 138 minutes. Dukes, I mean, obviously great stuff from Aubameyang, but what did you make of Barcelona's performance in general?
I thought they were excellent, to be honest, particularly in that first half, particularly in that first sort of 37 minutes or so, where I believe they went 3-0 up. And yeah, it was nice to see Jordi Alba picking out some excellent passes. The build-up to Frenkie de Jong goals in particular was absolutely excellent. Ousmane Dembele looked really sharp on the right-hand side. And as you say, Aubameyang, full of confidence and enjoying his football up top. They created 2.5 XG to Losce's 0.8. And they've now won 7 of their 12 league games under Xavi, with their only defeat coming at the hands of Real Betis. In fact, only Real Madrid with 27 and Real Betis with 24 have picked up more than their 23 points since his arrival. And they've also scored 10 league goals in their last 3 games. So they head to Napoli this week full of confidence after that 1-1 draw in the first leg at the Nou Camp. I mean, McCubs, what would you say? How do you see that one go?
Well, I mean, it's 1-1, isn't it? I think Barcelona. I don't know. It's gonna be a very even game. I think Barca and Napoli both in decent form. Like you say, it's good to see Ousmane Dembele, get himself a goal involvement. I thought he was really impressive towards the end of the first leg. So it will be interesting to see whether Xavi starts him in the second leg. It's really tough to call. A bit like the Dortmund Rangers game, but another one to keep your eye on for sure.
Absolutely. Guys, that's all we've got time for ERU for this week. Make sure you get your predictions for Dortmund Rangers and Barcelona Napoli in the comments down below. McCubs, if they've enjoyed this, what else would you recommend they go watch now?
Yeah, we'll go and check out Continental Club from Friday, but also go and check out the latest EFD Explained. Bit of a left field one, this one, from Henry. Great script from him. On the crisis facing Galatasaray at the moment. Obviously, Turkish giants currently sitting quite precariously above the relegation zone in the Turkish Super League, so go and check that out.
Nice, and also go check out the Football Pyramid. Yes. It was McCubs versus James, I believe, on Saturday. So go check that out. Episode 3 will be coming out this Saturday. Thanks very much for watching, guys. We'll catch you later on in the week. Stay safe, and we'll see you later. Bye.